All right, we should be live, hopefully. See how that goes. Okay, I'll state it just for people who are watching this on the replay. This is an impromptu Black Friday live stream. So I'm working in the shop this evening. Me and Thomas are working hard to fill orders, and I've got also a side project I'm working on currently. And so I just wanted to take and go live and share a little bit more about our processes with everyone out there. And so you get to see some boarding tonight. You get to see me packaging some orders and things like that for shipment out on Monday. And also we'll talk a little bit about some of the new blanks I just launched on the website that are going pretty well. So there are new layered ornament kits, and they've come out choice, very choice. So hey everybody, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me good enough, and hopefully you can. I know the shop's kind of a noisy shop tonight, but that's the way it is when we're working hard. I'm going to move you out here. I'm going to turn you down so you guys just kind of see what I'm up to, and then I'll be back. So I'm basically making a bunch of scroll stuff. Let me show you. I just did a little Instagram post. Basically, I'm making these cute little scrolly shepherd's hooks, and what these are going to be are driveway markers. So, yep, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, by the way. Belated Thanksgiving the day after. I'm stuffed, and hence why I'm working late. You need to work off some of this chub. Although it won't happen. I'm going to gain probably another 20 pounds before the holidays are over with. I don't know who's with me on that one, but I am anyhow. So hello, good to see everybody in the chat. So yeah, so basically I'm making these driveway markers for an upcoming Christmas party I'm going to be having here at the shop for a lot of our local neighbors and things like that. And so basically these are going to line our driveway, and we got some big lights, like big light bulbs that are going to be hanging from them as they go up and down our driveway. And then the future plan is these will actually line the trails that we have on our property. Once I get enough of them made to be able to do so. It'll be quite a bit of them. But it's a fun little project. I like to add some whimsy. The rest of the bar is just nothing but a straight bar. You can see, it's just a little shepherd's crook with a scroll thing. So right now, me and my son, Ivan, we ended up making, 40 of these together. And I probably just this evening alone, just today alone, I've made another 50. And we're just cooking right along. So enjoy. It's gonna be a fun little hangout stream. And like I said, we'll talk more about the new items and products we launched over on the website here real soon. And then also you guys get to see a bit of the process of our shipping process and how we like to ship things. And here in a little bit. So, but without further ado, let me get to it. So what I'm doing there, for anybody who's wondering what I'm doing, so the thing that I'm doing right there is I'm starting to scroll over the edge of the handful, and then I'm going straight to the scroll jig, and I'm doing a pre-bend. So for the first probably, I don't know, 6 inches of material, I'm getting bent around to start around the scroll. That allows me to get the rest of it in the long ways of the gas forge there. Allows me to get it in long ways, which then allows me to get a long heat that in the next step, so this is the second, it'll be the second heat, I'll be able to go around the rest of the scroll to my mark, and then I'll come back over here to my bending fork, put it on here and back, give it a back bend, straighten it out, and it's done. So a pretty efficient way of doing that. So. And hello everybody. Hello the Alexis Project. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yep, steady labor. Just stay right after it. So. Let's see here. All right, Saint Eleno Armory. Anyways, Saint Armory guy. Yes, Roy, do you ever play music or anything while working? If so, what? So I play a lot of podcasts. That's my main thing. A lot of audio dramas I like to listen to while I'm working. When I do play music, I'm a 90s guy, so 80s and 90s. So I play a lot of 80s and 90s and early 2000s type stuff. Just a mix. Sometimes I'll play a lot of bluegrass music. Sometimes I'll just play a lot of Christian music. Other times I'll play a lot of grunge, rock music from my heathen days. It just kind of depends on how the mood strikes me. I'm not a genre specific type guy, whatever I listen to. During the holidays, I've usually always played Christmas music of some type. And Thomas turned me on to heavy metal Christmas music, which is pretty sick. So it's pretty good when it's like super late at night and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. Listening to some of that heavy metal music kind of gets you pepped up a little bit. So I bounce around, when I listen to music. Mostly though, I like listening to podcasts and things like that. All right, on to the second step. Give it a little brush. Boom, there you go, one done. All right, enough of the count. Let's see, Roger Caldwell. They are all for my lights to hang up out in my yard and on my walking trails and things like that. You asked about these hook things. I don't know. I might make some to sell at some point, but mostly I'm just making them for us. So. And Apple Ironworks, hello, hello. Okay, hello. It's Keith. Saint Galgano. Saint Galgano? Galgano? Okay, I'll try it. Saint Galgano. All right. Well, welcome to everybody who's just coming in and joining me this evening. I'll reiterate for everybody who's just joined, and make sure you hit the like button, by the way. Share the stream around. That always helps out the channel. What we're working on this evening is I am making some, best way to talk about is driveway light holders. So I'm making a little shepherd's crook type scroll that will go up and down my driveway, and so these will come up, and then I've got these big lights, like big bulb type lights, like a Christmas light ordeal, that's going to line the driveway, and then eventually line all of my pathways, my walkways on my 8 acres that I have here. That's just a great way of getting festive. It's something that we like to do. You know, we like to light the place up around Christmas and things like that. Honestly, clearly, I like to get very festive with what we do. So that's just what I've been working on the side, in between doing other duties in the shop, fulfilling orders and things like that. So, dude, you must have a ton of lights. I do. So those are going to be every 10 feet. So the spacing on each one of those is every 10 foot. There'll be another one of those shepherd crook thingies to support the light strands that I have to be able to do that. So, but as you can tell, they don't take too long to do. I want to show you something here real quick. Grab one of our older ones. So this is one of our older ones we made. This is me and the boy. Me and my son, we made this one together. We were doing a whole system when we were working together. He did a part of it. He pulled it around the scroll form. I did all the hammering of the centerpiece, but he did all the scrolly bit, and then I did the back bit on these. But on a project like this, on this type of ironwork, will get you really proficient at making scrolls. Now, this will make you really good at making scrolls. This will just get you really proficient at making scrolls. And something that I like to always point out for folks, and this is the teaching side coming in here, something I like to point out to folks is some people hate doing scroll work, some people love it. The easiest way to fall in love with it is just start adding it to your ironwork. Whether the scroll's any good or not, whether it's wonky, or whether it's got a weird finial you didn't like. I'm not paying close attention to these fishtails. If you put them all up next to one another, they're going to look ugly as sin. None of them are correct. None of them are super elaborate finials or anything like that. It's just dressing the end of the bar into some kind of finial to make a scroll. So if you're bad at, call half penny scrolls, right, or penny scrolls, where you've got the whole round dot in there, just start making them. And if they're a little lumpy or if they're a little square or whatever, that doesn't matter. Just make them and you'll get better over time. The important thing is to think about the negative space in here. This is the part you really want to be looking at, is this negative space that's in here. You want to get a really nice looking negative space, and the finial is a bonus. Obviously, the better you make the scroll, the nicer it will end up looking. But consider the scale of your project, right? If this is going to be something that people are going to like Google, and they're going to hold this in their hands, and they're going to feel every little bit of it. Say it's like a bottle opener you're making, or some sort of mug handle that's going to go on something. That little scroll needs to be very nice. It needs to be the best kind of scroll that you can make. But this is going to be on a walk path, and its main function is to hang lights from. So the whole thing, the whole project as a whole is impressive. Whereas the individual parts, they're just okay. It's just a basic scroll. So you can do stuff like this to really elevate things around your house. You can very easily have this, put another scroll on the other end of this and attach it to something. Maybe put a little bracket with a scroll in here, and now you've got a sign bracket or a plant hanger or any old thing. So experiment with that, but just remember, you don't have to make every single scroll perfect and absolutely immaculate. Consider its purpose. This is going to line a driveway. It's going to line a driveway. It's going to serve its purpose for that. Then later, it's going to line my walk paths on my trails. And it's only going to be me and maybe people we have out, invite out, or have family out or whatever, that it's ever going to see this. So it's just more whimsical. We're just trying to make a whimsy thing and make the whole project, the whole property look more whimsical. So that's more important than every piece being absolutely perfect or dead on. Because I guarantee you, I don't have a mark on the bar. I'm just bending these by eye. I'm just coming around and go, yep, that's about right. And it's good enough. Usually your eye will tell you what's good enough and what's not. So that's been my experience, and that's what we've been doing in this particular project. And I'll show you, I'll flip you guys around and I'll show you guys why that matters. See how many scrolls there are? See how many pieces? That's a lot. So I don't have to make each one perfect. I just need to make them good enough, close enough to one another to sell the point that I'm after. Woo! Yeah, Dragonstone Gem Ironworks. Troy loves my scrolls. Troy likes to make my scrolls. Yeah, we've probably got about 100 of them, probably a bit more. So the trails, they're going to take a while. It's going to be a long time before I got all the trails done. We're just going to do the main trails because we've probably got, I don't know, quarter mile of trails on our property. So, you know, just the way they snake and loop and stuff. So that's a much larger project. That's like a lifetime project type thing. But we plan on doing like trellises, that like archways that are lit up over like where they go through our paths, and then doing like signposts with like pointing with directions where you're at on the trail, that kind of stuff. So we plan on like dressing it up really, really cute, you know, and it's going to be pretty cool. So ultimately, for this first run, we're going to have about 150 of these type scroll things just for the driveway stuff that we're doing. Now the driveway is just temporary. I'm having a Christmas party where I'm having some friends and some local folks around here and some family over. And so they're just going to line the driveway and like the parking area where people are going to park when I do like my open house here. And so they're going to be a temporary thing. They'll come back, you know, during, you know, different times of the year. They might, you know, I might put them back up for special occasions. But for the most part, these are all trying to get for our forest paths that we like to, that we're dressing up to make it look all magical. So, all right, I got a few more bars in here. I'm going to pull it on. Take care, Troy. Have a good weekend, brother. Have a happy Thanksgiving there, St. Gagano Armory. I totally messed it up again. I apologize. We'll see you at the stream on the 19th. So, all right, so there we go. Alexis, hey, at what time is the Christmas stream? I forgot my phone adapt, so it says 8:30 a.m. on the 20th. So, our stream, Eastern Standard Time, is going to be from 6 p.m. onwards, kind of thing. So, 6 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. So that's when we're going to be going live for the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream. So we'll be doing it then from 6 till whenever. I think Jessica has it set up from like 6 to 9 or something like that. We just picked a time, but we're going to go from 6 and on, basically. I believe that's what the plan is. So at any rate, there's going to be a lot to give away. There'll be a lot of stuff. So even if you miss the first 30 minutes, an hour, it's not going to matter much. We're going to be giving stuff away all the way up until we shut the stream down, at 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever, wherever we end up. So, yep. Hello, Mama. Everyone say hello to my mom that's in the chat, Angelique Adams, 4692. The woman who gave birth to all this gloriousness that you see here. Hey Dana, good to see you, brother. Yeah, Miss Crawford, yeah, some dragonflies or some butterflies attached to it. That could be a cool garden thing you could do. So, let those heat up, and I need to press that scrolls up there. That's good. So I got a YouTube video that'll be coming out. On these as well. It'll be more of just a watch me forge type video versus like a walkthrough thing. I do have some other tutorials that'll be coming out as well. A lot of it just requires me just sitting down. I've got like 7 or 8 videos in the tank. Some going back to when it was warm and I was, had short sleeves on. But anyways, I'm thinking about toying around with something for the channel for a little while just because of how busy I am. And tutorials sometimes take a little longer to make. But I plan on either doing tutorial style content. Well, tutorials take longer to edit, let's just say that. Because I have to take and edit out any flub ups or any talking issues or ums or uhs. like those take longer to make, just in general, tutorial videos do. Versus if I just got some tunes kicking in my earbuds and I could just work and rip out a project and just do more of like a forging video. But one of the things I'm thinking about toying around with on the channel, especially in the new year, is more of a real forging video type thing. What I mean by that is a lot of what you see on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, things like that, Reels, is everything is sped up. And like, I know that's the most popular, people are short on time, things like that. I get it, I get all of that. But it's kind of skewing the reality for the younger smiths, or for, you know, the young to the craft type smiths. It's skewing the reality of how long something should take, or how much progression, how long some sort of progression should take. Now that doesn't mean you got to take and film a 4.5 hour long video, but most of my projects don't take me 4.5 hours for simple stuff, you know, but it does take me roughly 20 minutes, you know, 15, 20 minutes of real forging, some actual forging. So I'm thinking about just doing some like ASMR kind of shots where you get to just watch the project develop. I might come on and talk a little bit about it right at the end of the project, or somewhere in the middle, just do like a little check-in and talk about what's going on in the video, explain a little bit of what's happened already, what's going to be happening in the future clips. But I think it's time to get back, as a blacksmithing community as a whole, back to real videos. You know, when you watch a video, like on Instagram, it's 60 seconds long, and they make an entire axe that's all handled and waxed and the whole bit, and it's like chopping wood. And they make it all in 60 seconds. It's really skewing that reality, I think, for a lot of the younger smiths that are coming into it. And I want to change that. I know I've tried to over the years, I've tried to speed up my content to keep the YouTube gods happy. And I'm kind of tired of that, really. I'm honestly tired of doing that. It just, you know, a bunch of jump cuts. Every now and then it's fun to throw a bunch of jump cutty things to some music and some tunes. That's all fun, fair. But realistically, I want to do more like ASMR type forging videos. You know, not specifically where I'm whispering to the, you know, can you hear the hammer scratching the metal? Nothing like that, but like actual, but just actual forging, like what it would look like in real time from a professional smith of, you know, coming up on almost 20 years. So, you know, like that, I'm like 18 years, right? 18 years in, right? So this is what you could expect, hopefully, if you put the time in at the anvil, versus let's just do a bunch of little quick jump cuts, and then you see this project that took me eons to make done in 3 heats. And I just don't think that's genuine out there, so I'm going to try to be more genuine in the video content going forward in 2026, because there are a lot of projects, a lot of masterworks that you all aren't seeing on your side yet, because I'm not releasing them yet. There's a lot of masterworks in the works that just one process takes a long time. It takes a long time. I could cut 3 hours down to 30 minutes. You know, 3 hours down to 30 minutes is still insane, right? That's an insane amount of time just disappeared off the clock. So in those cases where it's a real elaborate project, I'm even thinking about adding a timestamp, you know, like, so this way you guys can see, like, oh, okay, this took Roy like 9 hours to make this thing, not just 30 minutes, you know, on this project. And hopefully that will give the beginners out there a lot better bearing of reality and where they should sit in that. So take care, Roger Caldwell. Oh no, you're still staying. Okay. My mama was taking off, so all right, cool. Jesse Dunn, good to see you. Glad you can make this one. Cool. So, Dana, my ribs, they are good most days right now. Generally, it's not too bad, but doing stuff like this, swinging and things, it does irritate. Like my front rib, the front portion of my rib cage is pretty much healed, I would say, because it doesn't really hurt. But like where it's at, where it connects at the back, it feels like I got a knife stuck in my spine type thing. So it is not, that's not the most pleasant, thing in the world. But, you know, it is what it is. I got to keep moving, and there's not really anything they do for that sort of stuff. So just have to keep rocking it, you know. And boom. Last one. Well, I should say that's the last one for this evening, anyhow. Last one of those for the evening. I still got a lot more to make. I for sure probably cut at least 50 of them too. 60. I'd say probably about 60 laying over there. There's a bunch. Right. Jesse Dunn, yep, Thomas the Tall Elf is in the shop. That he is. There we go, bring you all up to meet my eye level. Dude, that's awesome. Awesome, Jesse. I'm glad you got the... Yeah, Thomas Goody moved. He's lurking. Lots of things to do. But yeah, Jesse, I'm glad you got a bigger space that you can work in. That's cool. Woo. Well, it was a good bit of work. Not too shabby, if I don't say so myself. Got quite a bit accomplished. Right over here. These were from previous. Those are all from today. All of those. However I do it. That's that over there. Not that. That. Not that. All are from today, so. Centered Ironworks. Hello, hello. Good to have you in the shop. I'll put my lens cap on my other camera. I'm filming today. Dana, what they are for is they're for driveway markers. So I'm going to do for trail markers that I'm going to hang lights, some pretty large lights on, and think of them like a lantern hook type thing. And that's what I'm doing on the property. So that's what they're for. Yeah, I'll probably sleep good tonight. Yeah, and Ivan will too. So I'm sure he will sleep. I think he always sleeps good. He's young. He's of no concern. He has no worries on his plate, so he sleeps like an angel. Sleeps like an angel. So, but anyways. So yeah, I don't know what anybody thinks about that as far as that type of content. But I think that's the way I'm going to go in the future. Just have much better, just be able to just have much better reality of what it takes to actually be a blacksmith and what time it takes to do something. I think everybody thinks they know, but they don't really know how long something takes. Whenever you look up something online, you're like, oh yeah, I could probably knock that out in 30 minutes. No, you couldn't. Not a chance. You know, the guy knocking it out in 30 minutes has probably been doing it for a very long time. So, you know what I mean? But you just starting out, no, you're not going to knock it out in 30 minutes flat. These scrolls here, teaching my son how to make them, and just helping him with the process and working with him, doing one portion of the process while doing two portions while he did the scrolling work. We were averaging about 3 heats. It took us about 3-ish heats or so, 3 to 4 heats of scroll. Now me, I'm doing 2 heats per scroll. So I'm doing the forging. So I'm doing the forging out of the finial, getting it started, starting the pre-bend around the scroll form, around the scroll jig to about 6 inches of material ate up there. Then I'm shoving it back in the fire, bringing it up to final heat, pulling it around the rest of the way to my mark, back bending it, straightening it, and then setting it off in the pile. So that's 2 heats for me. When I was working with the boy, it took us 3 to 4 heats, just depending on what's going on. So, you know, you guys who are making that out there, that's roughly about what you can expect. 3 to 4 heats until you really get on a good roll with it. You know what I mean? I'm glad you would watch it there, Roger Colwell. David Downing, good evening indeed. Yeah, LOL, that is the reality. Yes, it is the reality of it. But anyways, I mean, blacksmithing. So there was a recent in one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of. There was one of the clubs I'm part of. There was a young man who was talking about getting past the amateur stage of blacksmithing. You know, how can they go faster to get past the amateur phase of blacksmithing? And is there any like techniques or tricks or certain items they could forge that would take them to like the next level of blacksmithing? And the general consensus of a lot wiser smiths, older smiths, I say he's a young man because his profile picture, was just a young dude, you know. I mean, I don't know, maybe teenage age. And when you're a teenager, you're impulsive, you're brash, everything has to happen now, or you're just not good enough, or this or that. But everybody in the comment section basically said it takes time, right? And it does take a lot of time. But some of the interesting things about his commentary was how, like, oh yeah, I'm a pretty decent blacksmith, and I've got this kind of down pat, and I got that down pat, and I know how to do this, and you know, but it's frustrating because the stuff I'm working on that's harder is taking more time, and so therefore it's not fun. It's not any fun to make. And the interesting thing about that is there are two types of smiths in the smithing industry. There are those that are there just to have a play with it, having fun, and then there's those that are there to obtain to a certain level of greatness in the craft, right? I am that second. I'm the latter. I'm trying in my work to progress to a level of yelling, of, you know, whether I ever get there or not, to Yellen and beyond, or Francis Whitaker and beyond, or any of the greats, or the Tijus, you know, like the Jean Tijus, right, of the world. I want to progress to that stage in my ironwork. That's where I would like to be. I am not them. I have my own designs. I have my own interests. I have my own things that have shaped me and gives me a certain eye for you know, my certain kind of artistic eye towards things. So I am not any of those smiths, but I am always striving to put out the best kind of ironwork and the top ironwork that I can to hopefully be regarded as one of the best someday. Now, why? Just because I want to. It's just something I do. I don't ever do anything at 50%. I don't play around with something. I do things at 150% or not at all. 0%. That's how I am. I'm that way in my relationships. I'm that way in the business. I'm that way in forging. Any endeavor I get into, I'm doing it at 150% or I'm doing it not at all. It's just the way I am. So the first type of smith, where you just kind of play at it and you just have fun, that's kind of what I would see as like a hobbyist. You're never in the hobbyist mind frame. You're never going to get to being an advanced blacksmith. It's just not really going to happen, because there's a certain thing, you have to be a certain amount of particular about your work to the point of a mental health issue. I don't know, you know, I don't know how else to say it, but you kind of have to be so meticulous in your work, and like that is more fun to you than playing the Xbox or playing video games or sitting on the couch and watching movies or whatever. Like, your life is this thing that you're doing, and it's like the main thing you're passionate about. And some of that, you know, again, a lot of that's earned. Some people are gifted in that way of just a single-minded focus, but most people, we have to earn it. We have to earn to be there. So that is something that's interesting, that's come up in recent years, just seeing a lot of people get into the craft, and now you see a big exodus of people getting out of the craft. Don't be surprised by that. Us old dogs have been in it for a long time. We're still going to be here in another 20 years. I'm pursuing excellence in the craft, and eventually one day to be counted amongst the greats of this craft. That's what I hope to be someday for people. Again, I can't award myself that kind of title. It's just something I'm working towards. To be the most influential blacksmith, the most educational blacksmith, and obtain the highest heights that I could possibly obtain to in ironwork. That's my main and singular focus and goal. And I've been that way for, you know, like I said, 18 years. It has been that way. So I am definitely that second type of person. So there's nothing wrong with being the hobbyist, to be a beginner, to get to kind of an intermediary level, and then when you get into those like really high focused, high IQ kind of things where you're just like, it's like every part of the process frustrating to you, that kind of highlights for you that that's not the kind of smith you are. And that's okay. Not everybody needs to be a Samuel Yellen level smith. Not everyone needs to be a John Switzer or a Roy Adams or you know, an Alex Steele type or anybody. You don't have to go cuckoo. and be crazy down that route. It's okay to just make bottle openers and think they're fun to make, or make axes, or make knives, or make whatever you want. To be an okay blacksmith at forge welding and things like that. As long as you're doing the parts of the craft that you love to do, that's perfectly fine. And don't let anybody tell you that you should be at a certain place or a certain level, because that gets misconstrued, quite honestly, with time, right? Time in the craft. There are a lot of people that have been around the craft for 50 years, but they've spent about 8 years worth of time at the actual anvil, hammering and slugging out things. So their work is not that, it's that of a hobbyist. And that's perfectly okay, as long as they realize that. Sometimes they don't realize that, and they think, I've been at this 52 years, I know more than the guy who's been slaving away at the anvil for the last 18 years, and that's a problem, right? So there's no replacement in this craft for time spent at the anvil with hammer in hand. There's absolutely no time replacement for that. You can take all the classes in the world, you can watch all the videos in the world, you can learn from all the masters of the world if you want to, but there's no replacement for time doing the craft at the anvil. And so you guys will notice in a lot of my videos, I do it for two reasons. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, I am a hammer and anvil kind of guy. I've got a power hammer, a shop-built power hammer. You know, I've got fly presses. I've got, you know, I had a regular press. I ended up selling that off to pay for some of the giveaway items that we'll be giving away in the live stream, right? I have had all the different various professional blacksmithing tools that you could want or need. And I'm always, with my content, coming back to the hammer and the anvil. And I do that for two reasons. One, to take and show what's possible with hammer and the anvil. But two, as a principle, I believe that is one of the greatest assets, is to be very good with a hand hammer and an anvil and tell the metal to do what you want. I believe that is one of your greatest assets, is to learn. Learn the fundamentals. Learn them, perfect them, get really good at them, and then no projects withheld from you. No matter how big or how small, that's all semantics at that point. But really learn your fundamentals really good and get really, really good at those things. And then once you do accomplish that mission and get good at with the hammer and the anvil, right there, you need a heat source and a hammer and an anvil. That's it. Heat source, hammer, and anvil. Vices are nice. At least have a vice. That would be good, right, for twisting and bending and whatnot, you know, operations. But do yourself a favor. Set your shop up in mind for a hammer and anvil. If you're physically capable, set it up for a hammer and anvil. And just learn. Practice drawing out tapers until you can get them exact by eye. I am at the point where right now, and I can do it, I can prove it to anybody, and I have done multiple times in streams. I'm at the point now, if you tell me to put 6 inches of a taper on something, no matter the size bar stock, I will draw out exactly a 6-inch taper without ever pulling out a ruler. And I'll be within about 30 seconds. I will be within about a 32nd of an inch, plus or minus. So that's pretty good by eye, but that's because I really honed in on just doing that and practicing drawing out material with the hammer and the anvil. And you can too. There's nothing special about me that you can't be. You just have to put in the time at the anvil. Like I said, time in the craft doesn't necessarily mean wisdom at the anvil. So you can't replace time in at the anvil. If you're a young guy and you're watching this stream, that's my encouragement to you. Rome wasn't built in a day. Your blacksmithing journey will not be completed in an hour. So you need to invest in yourself, invest in the fundamentals, and just keep moving on. I like that. My intermediate work still drives me crazy. Yeah, Roger Caldwell. Ken Foster, it's not that cold. It's only like 30 degrees. Oh, it's not too bad. Very awesome. Yeah, the Hoffy swing, the Hoffy method, right, Ben? Yep, it's all about learning it. So if you can do it one arm, there's no reason why people can't do it with two perfectly functioning arms. Right? Right? So. Anywho, so yeah, I just hope that'll. Yeah, it's 16 degrees last night. Wow. Yeah, it got pretty brisk here last night. I'm not sure what it got down to. We're kind of protected by the Great Lakes where we're at. I'm not sure if you're in. I'm not sure what part of the country you're in. Just our area seems to be pretty sheltered. We get there's a lot going above us to the north and a lot to the south of us, but nothing in the center yet of where we're at. We're about right there in Michigan, so. Yeah, so I don't know. It could be colder than that. Here in the shop, it's only about 30 degrees, 30 maybe 32 degrees. So. Oh yeah, yep. Minnesota and Wisconsin's definitely getting the cold snap. But we get all that. Well, we're getting a lot of buffer from the Great Lakes. What's just interesting, they're forecasting like 6 inches, 8 inches of snow in our area over this weekend. But the funny thing about that is it hasn't gotten over Lake Michigan yet. So it's still kind of coming across Lake Michigan. You know, I'll believe it once it gets here. Either the Great Lakes will eat it up and it will dissipate it, or the Great Lakes will charge it up and we will really get hammered. But they hardly ever usually get the thing right. So. Bo King 2015, fellow Michigander. Well, hello. All right, I'm going to go over to the other side of the shop real quick, and I'm going to see if Thomas is ready for me to come in there and start QCing some orders and stuff. And you all get to say hey to him here in a moment. So hold tight. I'm going to go ask him real quick, and I'll be right back. The only thing I would put on there is graphite powder. Yeah. Didn't put any. Or we'll just have to replace it. It's going to eat that thing alive. All right, I'm back. On to the other side of the shop we go. Say hello, Thomas.
Hi, guys.
He's my noisy boy. Noisy.
Oh, they should really experience it for 2 seconds. Can I do that?
No.
Okay. No, I want them to experience the noise that I experience all day.
Nah, they don't need to hear all that. It'll be terrible. It'll be terrible. All right, well, while I QC some orders, Thomas is going to say hello and tell you a little bit about what he's been up to.
Can they see me this far over, or do I need to...
No, I'm going to bring it over to you.
Okay. It is so crazy because I'm listening to it right now.
Yeah.
It's playing in my ear, so there's that delay.
All right. Well, now you don't have to have it in your ear. Now you can just say hello. There you go.
Okay, out of the camera there. So what I'm just doing right now, Roy yells at me every day for my piles. I'm going to show you guys real quick of my piles.
Piles for miles.
piles. So right now what I'm working on is knocking all the dross off the these copper blanks that we have. They did go through the tumbler, but there's just a little bit. Let's get some lighting in there. Right there, you guys can see just that quick little lip of dross on there, and we don't like to send that out. We like to send out a fully ready to forge project, so you guys don't have to sit here and do what I'm doing. You guys can just get right onto your projects. It don't take long by any means to do this. Just time consuming and just needs to get it done. So, how are you guys doing this wonderful evening? Got you over there, but I'm gonna read my comments over here, so it might be just ever so slightly delayed. Just so my fingers aren't monkeying up on Roy's phone. I don't care about mine too much. You'll be amazed at what my hands look like at the end of the day. And then Roy's. Although
Hey,
I will
look
say,
at like Roy's hands are precious here. I just know how to keep my digits clean. Him, he don't wear any gloves. Look at him.
no.
He's just grease monkeying it up there. So
But
I've tried and
I
tried to
will-
teach that boy.
I will say he does wash his hands a handful of times through the day. So,
What's going down on this order, Thomas? I've got some new things here because
Yeah.
it's sitting right here.
because that right there is a.
No.
Oh, no, that one was sitting right there.
Yeah, it's sitting on top of here. This is just a three.
This is somebody that I just.
somebody else.
That's Santa. They must have fell off of this one right here.
All right. Good enough.
Oh, yeah. It was this one right here.
Okay.
It was the last one I put over.
That's fine.
It probably.
I just saw. I'm like,
Yeah,
it wasn't on order. That's why I was like, are we missing them or?
No,
I
it
need
probably
that
when I had it there and it slid off.
I got you.
And especially with this time of year, with the amount of orders that we got, it definitely does make it nice to have a second set of eyes look over all these orders so we make sure that everything is going out properly. Because I am but one wee man and I am a human. I know it might be hard to believe. Anyone that has actually met me in person. I do make mistakes. Lord knows that one. Yeah, they do make the Go-Joe cleaners. Although I can wash my hands and 2 seconds later they're going to get grimy again, so I'm one of those, what's the point? I'll wait till the end of the day when I can take a shower and turn my shower black and get yelled at from the wife to, clean it, which I do clean right after I shower. It's not bad. We do have a plan. Oh, I don't know why that paused. We do have a plan for remelting down some of our copper bits. These were already ran through the tumbler once, and our tumbler catches all that. What this little bit that I'm just clipping off, sometimes I save it, sometimes I don't. It's not gold, so although with the cost of copper nowadays, from what I've heard,
It feels like gold.
feels like gold, yeah. Silverware was invented for a reason. You don't need to wash your hands. Exactly. Yeah, just at the end of the day, typically I'm up out of here by 5 every day, and with the amount of orders that we had setting, I went out to the other side of the shop and was like, Roy, I got my bed running still. I got my tumblers going. I'll be back. I just had to run to the bank and take care of some stuff, and then I came back here. Can't let him have all the fun. Hope all you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. This year, Shelby wanted to do a turducken, which is, if you haven't had one yet, it's definitely a takes some prep work, but it was pretty good. You take a duck and you have to debone it, and then you debone a chicken and roll it up into a meat log and take the breast, the chest cavity out of the turkey, and you put it in there, and then you wrap it back up, and then we put it on the smoker, and it was on the smoker for 12 or 13 hours, and it turned out really nice. We have talked that. Then you keep it up. I'll call you awake at 2 in the morning. Your time, not mine. I'll call you when I wake up in the morning. We've got a couple friends on that West Coast. I've threatened them to do that. Call them when I wake up. And they're like, you can call. Doesn't mean I'm going to answer. No, we, with all these little coppers, we got a couple containers over there that after I sift all my stuff out, we do keep all these little copper clippings. We'll melt them down. We got a project coming up. See if we can get to it after this big, probably the new year. It won't be this year. We are flat out crazy busy in here. And I do have to remember that I'm on Roy's channel and not mine, so I'm going to keep my slang to a minimum. But I will say I'm busier than a horse's tail in peak fly season.
Well, that's an interesting way of saying it.
Well, you've heard my other way of saying it, but we may have women folk around and or children. Well, we got a decent little bit of group here. On my end, it says we got 23 people sitting here just watching a Yahoo clip away copper clippings, and they can't even see you in the background.
No?
Oh, there you are. They see the shadow moving.
I see my shadow. Roy, the shadow.
No, they can see you right now.
No, they can see me.
Right there.
Oh, they can see me in the background.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's so delayed on that end
Oh, it
versus on
is.
the main screen. So
It really is. Yeah.
It's-
It's quite interesting.
it's a good bit of delay. Oh. Remember to hit the like button, folks.
Like,
Well, thumbs up.
subscribe, share, leave a comment.
Say hello. Get part of the community.
Oh, I'm gonna say it because I have no problem rattling that tin cup. If you guys don't already have plans to, or if you guys are capable and don't feel like you're obligated by any means, if you feel like you want to, though, send something in for the Great Blacksmith giveaway. Pretty much in all these videos, more likely down at the bottom is a way to get a hold of us, way to mail something to Roy. Send something, a tool related, for the Great Blacksmith giveaway. So it's not just only funded by us here at Centered Ironworks, i.e. Roy. I did make a couple tongs that's putting in there. But if you guys feel in your heart there to send something to help out the community, then it will be greatly appreciated. You don't have to, but you know, share your guys' tool makings, or who knows, you may have an old hot cut tool in your rack that you're not using anymore, or you've upgraded and you want to send it in and pass it on to somebody else. That'd be greatly appreciated. You know, not trying to show that out too hard. If you guys haven't already been following and tracking along, Great Blacksmith giveaway is December 19th.
Yep.
At 6.
Yep.
At 6 till whenever, right?
Yep.
Till the eggnog runs out.
Yep.
Funny thing is, though, Roy can't do eggnog. It hurts his tum-tum.
Hurts the tummy tums.
Hasn't called. I've talked to you, Ben. There we go. I had to go back and read some of that. Hasn't even called him for a date. So here in a second, though, guys, I will give you a warning before I go and do this. I will need to run a wire wheel just for a quick second, because we do not like to send out rust in our orders, so a lot of our stuff does get wire wheeled down it's just a flash rust. I mean, it's not even that crazy. See, probably on the camera you might not even notice it, but shiny is good. Shiny is good. So you're going to see me walk away from the camera. I got to go to one of my other piles over there. The infamous piles. To get a couple bottle openers. So. And Roy, am I good to show off some of the new things there? Or?
Yeah, show off the new ornament.
Okay. All right. Okay, I've given you guys a little bit of a heads up. I'm going to be running a wire wheel. So if you have headphones in right now, turn them down, letting you know. Also, while running death wheels, safety glasses. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, going. All right, if the volume is turned down, you can turn back up because I'm done with the wire grinder, so you can turn back up. Roy and Jess did go and spend some time designing some new designs that are pretty cool. I really do enjoy them. And they are fun, seeing something new to cut on the plasma table. It's just nice to look at something more than just a bottle opener or a deer hook. Get out of my black. You know, some of our deer hooks. And let's see, Santas, you know. That's just what's in my piles and was quickly, easily grabbed. As you can see behind us, if you haven't already seen in any of the live streams, we have lots and lots of bins, organization, over probably 200 different designs.
300.
Oh, 300. I was corrected.
300 designs. We have 300 designs in 10 gauge. So we got them in 10 gauge, 16 gauge, so 2 different material thicknesses and 3 different materials. So a lot.
It's a lot to keep up with. So the first one I'm going to show you guys here. You have the made up ones over there, Roy, or are they inside?
No, I don't. They're inside.
Okay. So take a look on the website because I'm pretty sure Jess did
They're
put
live
those.
now. Yep.
These are now live, but here is a Mrs. Claus. I know it's... All these will get a rivet in there. So that's the new Mrs. Claus. We do have a moose. Unfortunately, it's not as big as a Cadillac, but it'll do. So we got a moose. We have an elk. These are all layered, by the way. They come in 2 parts. You get a little rivet, texture them up, do as you please, and rivet them. We have Randolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Randolph. No, it's just called reindeer, I think, or wild deer or something like that.
Who knows what it is?
I haven't looked at the new website since they went live. I think it's just called deer.
That one does come with a copper rivet and a mild steel rivet, though.
Yeah, that one right there does come with a copper. I don't know if you heard, Roy. It does come with a copper rivet and a standard regular rivet. So you can make a Randolph or a Blazer. We have Santa Claus. And if you guys do get these by any means, please share them. Share what you guys make with these. Because the one Roy made, it's mildly disturbing. But it is nice. It's just, I want to see what you guys come up with. It only gave me a nightmare for like 2 days. And then we have the little elf. So, another cute little elf. Once again, these come with a rivet in there and that you guys can come up with.
So my snowman did come out a little serial killer like. So not gonna lie, the eyes are a bit big. I'll say that. They are a bit big. But, you know, I mean, it looks good. It's a character snowman. So it's just a little bug-eyed is all. But.
A cow plus overlay equals elk. Well, I mean, it's not really a cow. I guess you could think. I mean, elk that don't have, it's a bull and a cow.
Well, you can make a cow elk out of it too.
Yeah.
So if you just do one of these, if you don't want to do the
Roger, you have yourself a good one.
male
buddy.
elk, see? Shaboom.
Oh, the new trivet designs. I got some over there, maybe.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the new and improved, or if those are our testers.
Well, these are the test ones. You can show these off.
I got a couple here
Hey, you can show them off the camera.
from my piles. So these are just test cuts. So this is not exactly what yours will look like. It'll actually already have the holes blown in at 120 degrees to make a nice trivet. So we have a bear, which my hand, if you guys want to look, this is a 6-inch ring. So really nice. I have some smaller trivets at home, and 6 inches nice. Let me get my black sweater out of the background. We got an elk right here. We have your deer. And a moose. A moosey moose. Vegas Cadillacs, eh? And also, if there's any designs that you guys are thinking of or something like that, you can always get a hold of Jess, make a comment to her, and we can make your guys' dreams realities. So keep that in mind. So one thing I do got to do here, so you guys cover our name up real quick. On every single order, if you guys have ever bought from us before, if you're new watching the show here, on every single order, you actually get a handwritten thank you from us, whether it be from me, which you'll be able to read. Roy, you might have to stand on your head and squint your eyes a little bit because he's a southpaw, lefty, or very elegant writing from Jess. But every single order that we send out has something like this. And right after I write this nicey note, we'll see something else that we do here. I always feel bad when I'm quiet, like, because they're just like sitting here watching me write. Ben, if you're looking, no, that's not that bad. I don't. Ben's like, blink twice if you need help. I'm trying to think if it would look good. Definitely have to put. Stupid ad. Keep it from tarnishing. My trivet at home, I just put beeswax on it, and it's just like your cast iron. If you treat your carbon metals just like you would anything like your cast iron pan, it won't tarnish out. Now, one thing that we do here is when you guys order something from us, we always love to give a free gift. And one thing we are doing this year, just like the past 2 years, has it been, Roy?
Mm-hmm.
The
3. This is our third.
3. This is the 3rd year.
Yep.
We should have had that like 3rd annual or something, you know.
I think it is in the promotional somewhere. It might not be there, but Jessica posted about it.
Oh, okay. But with every order from beginning of November till Christmas, or whenever we set our cutoff date, what is our cutoff? If they're trying to get something to them by Christmas, when is our cutoff, Roy?
The 20th.
The 20th.
Not that we can't ship it out. We just live rural up here where we're at. Like, so the postal system is slow up here. Like, it's just the way it is. So if you're waiting, you're holding out to like the post office says, oh, by the 23rd or the 24th, that you'll still get it by Christmas, which that's a lie. I can just tell you that, because all of our stuff has to go down to either Saginaw or all the way to Detroit, or it has to go all the way to Chicago and then move on from there if it's heading out west. Sometimes it'll go down and hit Detroit, then from Detroit to Chicago, and then from Chicago out finally. And so it hits multiple distribution centers because we're so far north. And so with that being said, it's best to get your final orders in if you hope to receive it by Christmas, about the 20th. That's for us, because we'll work on it that next week, get it in the mail as fast as humanly possible, and then ship it. We'll get it in the mail, but then it's up to them. So, with the mad rush. But yeah, that's usually for us. That's like the last chance for us to even potentially get it out to you by Christmas. But there's no guarantees on that. But on the Christmas sweater ornament, that's all the way up till the pretty much. That's going to be right up until the 19th, so it'll be like the 18th. That's at midnight. That's when we'll stop and we'll do all of our judging and stuff, and then we will, we'll judge whoever did the best on the the Christmas sweater contest, and then we'll just go from there. So because we got to have time to kind of pull out our favorites and and put them in a collage and all that for the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live. Hopefully I answered all that.
It does. Going back and reading your comment there about if you were to do a copper trivet, how to keep it from tarnishing, is you could put probably you're not putting a lot of heat to it, so you could just put a clear coat paint on there. It's not like you're actively putting 500 degrees on there. If you're cooking at 500 degrees, that's quite hot. Typically you might back it down a little bit before you pull it out of the oven. But most stovetops are only like 300, and that's really hot. So I might not be in footage right now. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm just stacking up my orders over here, so then Roy can go through and get them QC'd. All right. That takes me up to everything I had printed off at 8:15 this morning. So now I'm going to turn the camera just so you can see me at the computer, but fortunately for safety reasons and all that, I will not zoom in on the computer because
you need this printed off.
I would like everything from...
What's the last order number?
That's what I'm going to get you right now.
That's all I need to know. No name, just order number.
Yep, let me look over my 2107. 7.
I got 2109 over here.
2109. Yeah, 2109 and forward. So,
Okay.
21.
Yeah, 2110 and forward.
Yeah, 2010. 2110, yeah. So we did discover a really cool, nice thing right here. I can show this off to you guys. Is all my stuff that might need to come in to get cut, and it's probably blurry on there, so sorry. But it gives me a pick list of what I need to cut for, that takes care of all my orders up till when I print from one section to another. So I can actually get cutting on the bed sooner versus going order by order like how I used to do. I used to go order, oh, don't have this, write it down. Oh, don't have that, set that order off to the side. You know, this way I can just go through my bins real quick, like, oh, I needed, 20, say, like my bin right now over here is my dog hooks. I have 0 in my bin. So for my orders that I had, I cut up what I needed, plus a little bit extra, so I can start, filling the bin up. But right now, this time of year, that bed has not been quiet at all. From the time I get in, tumblers start making noise, and luckily being here in a rural area, we don't have anybody close by. So they just get they can hear us from the distance. But inside here, the building definitely does hold in a lot of that noise, and so we're not really disturbing the peace too bad. But yeah. JIJ Forge and Fishing. Howdy, howdy. We got Tim Lilly. He finally did come. You commented on something. I'm proud of you, buddy. He finally commented. Usually he says, I watch everything you put out. I just don't comment.
Here's your orders.
Those are my actual. Oh, did you print me out a cut sheet or?
No, that's everything going forward. That's
Okay.
just that's your order list.
Okay, can you also get me the cut sheet? Or do you want me to just go old school on these last few
Well, you're
orders?
not going to be cutting them, right?
No.
You're not cutting them tonight, so. No
I'll fill what I can then.
No, yeah, just fill what you can, because there's no point in doing a pick list tonight, because it's just going to be more on Monday.
Yeah.
We'll just do a pick list then, and we'll cut them, camera them out.
Okay, I'm gonna set this back here. Like I said, sorry guys, you don't get to see the actual order forms. It's just safety for our clients. But if I do see anybody that's in this live stream right now, and if you guys do place an order over here, I will give you a shout out. I can do that. But I'm not gonna be, giving addresses. Like Billy Bob lives on 123, Pabst Blue Ribbon Drive. Jim Bob would live on a street named like that, wouldn't he?
Just by saying that, you probably just did give somebody his real address.
I probably did. Oh yeah, John Burnell was live earlier. I did see that.
Nobody wants to watch him.
Well, he was actually forging, not just talking, so.
I was forging earlier.
Yes.
I was forging.
I'm saying compared to others,
Are you forge shaming me now?
I'm not.
Is that what you're
I'm
doing?
not.
You're
I'm
forge
just.
shaming me now?
I'm just proud to see that you were out there actually doing something.
He's tractor shames me. He forge shames me.
Okay. So, I will be right back if Roy can give you the presence of his body over here. Number 6 times 4, 16 gauge.
Boy, he's got an ugly mug, don't he?
Not my fault. I got a face for radio and a voice for silent films.
Ken Foster, awesome.
We got possum sausages in.
Well, good. I'm glad everybody's enjoying watching John Burnell's stream, too. Thank you, Ken Foster. Yeah, cat blanks make it easier than doing it by hand. That's right. Take care, Ken Foster. God bless you. Make the counts. Make the counts right, Thomas. Make the counts right.
But I can't count that.
So Thomas is doing pretty good. He's making his way through the orders. We're just putting in a little bit later night just to keep up with them. That way we don't have any like longer delays. We're like in that critical crunch time right now. Any business that serves other businesses like what we do, we serve the blacksmithing community out there. So, which is all of you all out there. There's a whole bunch of businesses that guys are going around to Christmas, guys and gals are going around and selling these blanks at Christmas bazaars and stuff, forging up the ornaments and doing things like that. Well, it's crunch time. It's like the last 2 weeks in November and like the first 2 weeks in December are major crunch time if you run your own business for this type of work. So we got to meet the demand while we can. Make hay while the sun shines, right? That's the key. Make hay while the sun shines.
Put it up while it's dry.
Yep. Oh. Need to finish my QC and we'll be back there.
So in this person's order, we try to go with a theme too. Like if somebody orders something, we pick something that goes along with this. So this person right here, they ordered some elf ornaments. They ordered the new Mrs. Claus and a Santa, right? Well, for me, and they also ordered some snowflakes, but I decided to throw in a nutcracker with its beard and ribbit and a little gnome. So those right there. So when I am picking for the free items and stuff like that, I look at what somebody gets and kind of go by that. So it's not just a blind, I'm pulling this as my free gift. Everyone is a little customized.
I need another elf.
You need another elf?
Yep, this was supposed to have two.
It's supposed to be 2 elves?
Yep, 2 elves instead of 1.
Okay.
Ghost elves. I need an elf brown.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
So I see right there. This double picture messed with me earlier when I was that.
Yep.
Gotcha. See, right there. If I come back over limping, it's because he beat me off camera.
And he deserved every moment of it.
Turning them fancy shapes into words is hard.
Shy on ribbons too.
How many ribbons am I shying on? Okay. That one Santa. 4 of those. 1 Mrs. Claus. 2 elf. Okay. Okay, giving you guys a heads up here. Get ready to turn your phones down. It's going to be running a grinder. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going loud.
That's riveting content right there. Bring you guys over here. And you can watch this other riveting content where I just print labels. So riveting. I know. There you go. Nice. Welcome to the dungeon. I'll be working on fulfilling orders. A lot. Speaking of a lot of orders, I'd like to thank everybody who does order from us. You're what make the Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream possible. You are what makes all this giving that we get to do in the community and outside of the community. Additionally, you're what make it possible. So thank you guys very much. Take care, Dana. Good night, brother. Yeah, Jeff Fox. Their gnomes are awesome. They're stupid simple to make. So, yeah, it's quite a string of orders. So, it's greatly appreciated. Really, 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 really is. So, thank you all much. So. Thank you all for who's been putting in orders with us. It's really appreciated.
Pretty sure that was about as enjoyable as watching paint dry.
Yeah, just a little bit. So, hey Thomas, what's that up to there? Are you got a ton of wire wheeling and pulling to do?
I don't know. I didn't look through yet.
Okay.
Got this order here done.
Okay. So, what I'm thinking for this evening. So since it's already gotten up pretty late, there's only pretty much 2091, 2096, and 2100. Those are all like our oldest orders. But everything else up from there, right? And all these orders that I've just printed off, these are all ready to go, basically packaged and. Like, all these are ready to be shipped. Yeah. So, I can QC those last two that are sitting there. Yeah. Whatever. Are those done over there on the bed?
I'm getting ready to have
okay.
another one over there.
So, I can go ahead and QC those, but let's just go ahead and package up what we got. And then just clear the table, so this way I can weld up that guillotine that I'm supposed to do for that one order, and that over the weekend. And then... yeah, we'll just do that, and that way we can be like cleared down and stuff for the evening. That way I don't have piles and messes to deal with over the weekend while I work. Sound like a plan to you?
Plan.
Okay. You've worked long and hard enough today, my friend. Oh, he's been here since like 8 a.m. this morning, and it's 8 p.m. now, so 12-hour shift's long enough.
Oh yeah, that's some copper I gotta cut there.
Yeah, I think a lot of them you have to cut for because all those orders have been in like the last, 8 to 10 hours anyhow.
Yeah,
so
that's some mild, like.
Oh. Sorry, side conversations, guys.
I got that. I got a couple in here that I might be able to knock out just by doing a quick look at.
Okay. If you can, great.
But I need to get this area clean.
Yeah. And I mean, if you need to, you can just leave it in the buckets for now. Or whatever. So, with also taking in... yeah. He gets 3 beans with his rice. Yeah, that's exactly right. 3 beans with his rice.
I ate way too much food yesterday.
Yeah, he's been fed. He's fed for like a month. He's good. Thomas biscuit jars. So not only do we sell blanks to other smiths and stuff, but this is one that Jessica put on a bit of jute rope, and we also just sell them on our website as ornaments as well. So that's something Jessica's been doing. She's been drilling holes in them. Sometimes she'll do some texture. Sometimes she'll do some, polishing or whatever. But she's been making them as well for our website, which is kind of fun. It's just another fun way. I mean, yeah, it's plasma art, technically is what it is. It's not exactly like it's, it's not a high-skilled blacksmithing item, but it doesn't have to be. There's people who like it and they buy it, and who are we to say otherwise, right? They want to give us their hard-earned cash for such things. We are very happy to oblige. We are very happy to oblige, as you should be as a business. I think in today's day and world, it is highly important for people to stay mobile, right? In business. In fact, I was talking about this with.
You got that Rolodex of all the orders?
Here's all these. What I've been doing these, Thomas, is I've just been sticking them to the packages, pre-sticking all of it. That way you don't have that to mess with. Yeah. So I was actually talking to, I believe it was Andrew Larson and Mark Ling at Quad State about this specific thing, is that they were commenting on noticing how, some people hadn't just sold as well as they thought, and, this year at Quad State, and they noticed that there wasn't as many tools and big tools and equipment moving this year and things, and a lot of people were selling off like in complete shops worth of stuff and things like that. And they were talking about how the blacksmithing bubble is pretty much popped, now is, kind of what they were talking about is, we're on the backside of that bubble for forging, since Forge and Fire is kind of waning now. It's not as popular as it used to be, that kind of thing, right? So they were talking about that, and my thing that I said to them, that I said to both of them at different times during these conversations, is I said, that is true, that is something to look at, but ultimately, if you're going to be around in, say, 20 years or 30 years or 40 years in business, you are not going to be doing the same exact thing you started your business with. That's not going to happen. It's very rare that a company started doing one thing and they continue to do one thing, and 50 years later, they're still doing that one thing. They made no progress. They didn't make any iterations. They haven't done anything different. They don't do anything better with their systems. They don't offer additional products, things like that. That is highly rare that a business is like that. So with blacksmithing, what that means is there's some shops out there, big ornamental custom shops, that that's all they did was speed rails, and like their particular area, there's a lot of homes and new developments going up, and a lot of people wanted a certain type of look and a certain type of iron, and there's not. The development moves, and then they have to either move with it or they lose that portion of their business. And some businesses can adapt. Some businesses can adapt to stay on top, and other ones cannot, frankly. And it's sad for the ones that can't, because, it would be great if, you could do one business, especially if you've worked real hard for it, right? As most people do, small businesses. You work real hard to build up a clientele and a customer base, and it really sucks to have that kind of move out from underneath you. But you have to stay mobile. And as I told them, I said, I am not beyond sweeping streets if I have to, or whatever, or taking a job at Burger King, or do whatever to make sure that my that my family's taken care of, and things like that. I feel very blessed that we have the company that we do, and that we do the service we do, and that all the support we get from you guys out there. We couldn't do it. If I didn't do that, I'd have to do something else, I've been asked a couple times, oh, are you still considered a blacksmith? And the simple answer is no. No, I'm not really. I'm not a professional blacksmith. I'm a blacksmith, yeah, and that's been my trade. I still do things professionally in the forging world occasionally, but not enough to really consider myself a full-time professional blacksmith anymore, because I have moved more towards the supply side of the smithing category to help you all out there in your forging endeavors and going to shows and art shows and craft fairs and things like that. I've moved to that side of the equation versus being in the trenches myself, so to speak. I'm just the one supplying the ammunition, so you can get the job done. Is kind of the way to think about it.
The man behind the gun.
yeah. I'm the man behind the curtain of success. Oh, but yeah. So, with that being said, that's not a bad thing. It's just what I am. It's the way life has kind of taken me here recently, and I'm okay with that. I used to feel a little self-conscious about that, but not really anymore. I'm happy with where we're at. I'm happy that I'm doing a good job for people. I'm doing something for the community, for the forging community. I'm building a legacy, and if something were to happen to me as well, as bleak as that may sound, if something were to happen to me personally, it is good to know that I'm running a kind of business that my wife and kids could take over without me being around. Whereas if I was just straight artist blacksmith, the business dies with me, pretty much. But yeah, you have to stay mobile. So no matter what it be, if all of a sudden something turns around and people don't want to buy blanks anymore, and people don't want to buy from me for whatever reason, and don't want to support what we're doing here, Centered Ironworks, or nobody wants to watch my videos, or I'm some old crony fuddy-duddy nobody cares about anymore, well, I'll just go back to making art. I'll go back to doing what I've done before, and I am not beyond going to the local craft fair and selling my wares. And I will do so, and I've done that before. I don't necessarily want to do that now, but I will if necessary. It's totally a possibility. FCM 128s. Trying to get all these made up here. Good. It's good. So I get to do computer work at the same time as I get to do all these other things. My day is very varied. Let's see, let me read here. That's the cool thing. A smith makes their own tools to change. Yep, that's awesome. Yeah, Mr. Crawford, that's right. Providing a service that's needed, really. Yep, and I believe it is, So, a lot of our stuff that we provide, a lot of our blanks, they are cheaper than what you can produce them yourself. Both in, even if you had a bed on your own, you had your own plasma bed, because we buy in bulk, because of the community support that allows us to be able to buy in bulk. It allows us to get the price at a cheaper rate, which allows us to pass those savings on to you, the customer. It allows us so many things, and we keep our margins really tight, so we're not like crazy on our margins. It's not like they're selling for, we have 30 cents in material and it's $80 for you to buy. So we're really tight on margins on our stuff. And we offer sales, and we offer discounts, and we do, free shipping for any order over $25 in the United States. We just do a lot of the, we give items away. Every order we get, we put in free gifts as well. So free gifts of some kind. Sometimes there's a lot, sometimes there's a little. It's just something that we do to take and support the blacksmithing community out there. And there are quite a few companies. We have about 20 companies that are full-time employment, going around to craft fairs and Christmas bazaars and art fests and things like that almost their entirety of their stock is our blanks. So they forge them up and then they sell them and they actually make a living from it. So, and that's just a really cool place to be able to be in that position, to be able to help serve that way. And also, you know, again, get that whole wheel started, you know. It's a good hand-in-hand relationship, so. Awesome, Ben. Yeah, the new animal heads are a pretty cool ornament idea. Yeah, Jessica came up with that. She's like, well, we offer the layered Santa. We should offer some other layered ornaments that people could use. And so that's where that came out of. Okay, one going to the UK. Jessica sold a necklace to the UK. Yay. So see, even Jessica makes stuff from our blanks. So she's been making up these copper cross pendants right here. And she has sold, oh my goodness, so many of these things. I mean, just boatloads. Hard for her to keep up with homeschooling the kids, keeping up with me and the business, and doing her own stuff. So God love her, you know, but she has sold boatloads of these copper pendants, you know, that she's made up. But those are plasma cut here in-house in our like little wastage areas and stuff from the rest of the cutting we do out of the copper. And then she takes those and she makes up, you know, like I said, she's made a boatload of them. They're pretty crazy for her. So even my wife's industry business we've been supporting with the blanks. So that's kind of a fun thing to think. All right,
she enjoys her tiny little stuff though that gets dropped in the drink.
Address is invalid. Come on now. I'm going to cancel and I'm going to go back into it. See if it does it now. Country of origin. This is one thing that we really dislike, Jessica and I. We get a lot of people talking to us and saying, hey, you know, no, I can't ship this one. It does not work. Okay. They'll have to get a different address. That is fine. So that one can just get set off to the side. Yeah, one of the things Jessica and I would like to do is to be able to provide our blanks worldwide. But nations are stupid. Governments are dumb. Let's just say that. They really are closed door on commerce, you know, unless you're some big player. So it is really hard for us to get our blanks out and about. It just costs so much money to do so. Something we are looking at in next year, probably by the end of next year. It's something we still got a lot of research to do on, so don't quote me on this. It's something we're trying to do by the end of next year, is we're trying to take and have some fulfillment. We're looking into some fulfillment companies or options where we can pretty much freight all of our stuff, freight all of our blanks and inventory over to like the UK, Australia, Canada, and from there, from those fulfillment areas, you can order on our website and they will fulfill from there. And so that way the shipping is not like, oh my God, you know, expensive. But we looked at a guy's order. He just wanted some simple stuff. And it was like $90 to ship it to Canada. I'm like, that's ridiculous. And that wasn't including the VAT or the tariffs or nothing. That was just 90 bones for like a 4-pound package to go to Canada. I'm like, that's so stupid. You know, that like, it's so ridiculous. And they're neighbors of ours. We're not even that far from Canada. We're 2.5 hours away from Canada, where we're at right now. Just 2.5 hours away. They're just 2.5 hours to the north, and it costs $90 damn to get it to somebody in Canada. It's ridiculous. It's kind of just, it's crazy. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's just crazy. You know, crazy in price. So. Yeah, Mr. Crawford, it is sad to hear Holland closed up shop. Thanks, Ben. Yeah. Hey, if you pay the shipping, I'll send it to somebody in Australia, and then I'll have them send it back to you, and you can pay the shipping. I would love to do that for you, brother. David Downing, you're very welcome, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support in purchasing them from us. It helps us out. I like that kind of synergy, that partnership going hand in hand. So great, so greatly appreciate you.
We just had an order from him not long ago, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, David Downing said, I love your ornament blanks. They made me a lot of money this season. I appreciate you offering them. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm not calling people's names out loud here.
Well, he's in the live.
No, this is somebody else's. I'm talking about somebody else's. It's going to go on to 662.
Yeah, we do say that a lot. Like, with this new system Roy has set up, he's like, oh, did you do so-and-so's order? I was like, with the new system, I don't pay attention to name. I look at number now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, what's their order number?
Not that you all are numbers to us.
I
but
don't have access to the names on my...
On a pick list. Yeah, on his pick list. Oh. Done. All right, one more for Jessica's orders.
Yeah, this morning when I went to the post office, they were like, oh, you're here early. I was like, yeah, trying to get in here before it gets crazy.
I think this one, yep, for a pet. That's good, 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 good.
And we don't want to get demonetized, but normally we do have a little bit of festive, cheery music going.
Yeah. That's another stupid thing.
And if you guys haven't already, you need to listen to the holiday, well, I'll call it Christmas music, but rock version. You I turned Roy on to...
Yeah, I told him about the heavy metal Christmas music.
Oh, you did tell him about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set this off the side.
Did you say that I turned you on to it?
Yeah, I did. They said we always knew. They said we always knew Thomas was a heathen.
I am a heathen.
All right, I think I got enough there to shift those orders out. Woo! Oh, I bet you it's probably pretty good. Sounds like y'all would like Skillet's "O Come Emmanuel."
Yes.
So it probably is a good one.
That is a banger right there. Who put that one up? Was that you, Folt?
No, that was
Who said that one?
that was Eric Stephen Terry.
Oh, okay. It just sounded like something that Shane would point out.
What do you think? Crushing some orders. There's Thomas. There's a beautiful little guy. Right there.
Alright, pick my nose.
Got it. Oh. Grab some of these. Gotta get a whole other package of these going. Gotta get some more envelopes.
And then now, that is one thing I am super grateful. USPS gives us these little padded flat envelopes. We don't have to buy them, do we, Roy?
Not right now. Keep your mouth closed, though. They might be listening.
Well, they are quite handy. We definitely sent out quite a bit of orders. I don't know the exact count I shipped out this morning, but I think it was like 30. Was it?
I don't know, it's a bunch, yeah. 20 or 30 orders, yeah.
Our post office people really love us, especially when we do pickup at the shop. I think they
We're
love
just
us.
giving them traction. Winter traction. No need for winter tires when we can just give them a lot of weight.
All the way.
All the weight. They can choose which axle they want to put it on. Oh. That done. Oh. So, here's a good example for people that I get, the occasional trolls that I get that comment on my stuff. Must be nice, right? I don't see any of them in the shop on a Friday night. They've been here 12 hours already in counting, fulfilling orders, and taking care of customers. So, yes, it is nice. And it takes a lot of work for it to be nice. You can see it's two guys' labors in here working,
Talking
constant out.
You're inside eating your tapioca this morning.
I'm second shift, dude. I'm second shift. He likes getting up at 4 a.m. and, you know,
Hey,
I don't. I'm
I'm
still
sorry.
awake at 4 a.m.
I'm sorry that I have to go milk the cow, strain the butter, collect the eggs, beat the wheat,
Yeah.
you know, all that.
He doesn't do any of that.
No, I do wake up every morning and feed the horses and feed
Uh-huh.
the chickens.
Uh-huh.
So feed the chicken, not choke the chicken.
He's just loping the mule in the morning. He's not doing anything. Oh. No, see, again, he wakes up at 4 a.m. I'm still awake at 4 a.m. That's the difference. I'm a bit of a night owl. So, we're on two separate shifts. So don't let him fool you. I just put in my 16 hours a different time of day. I choose the later half of my 16 hours of the day. Of that 32-hour day, I choose the later 16 hours to work.
No, I give him flack, but just because he might not be out here does not mean that he's just loafing off. There's a lot of behind the scenes. He's answering emails, and,
Questions.
you know, doing it all in there. So we joke around with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like he picks on me when I gotta leave at 5 to go get my boys, and he's like, "All right, part timer,
Yeah.
you coming back in?" And I'm like, "Do I need to?"
Ben Tunes, who is talking smack? I'll make sure the kneecap's gone. We'll let you know, Ben, if we need to sick you on anybody.
He's only taking the knee test because that's all he can reach.
Oh, burn from Thomas.
Dude, I'm horrible with the ragging on people. It's not that great. You think I would be so much better though with living with my brother? You've met him.
Yeah.
That I would be much, much better at the comebacks and all that. I'm not.
And all Jessica's stuff shipped out. Oh. Here's another thing that y'all might notice. It's a little bit different, you know. This is how many of you have bosses that are standing shoulder to shoulder with you at Dark 100 doing the same things you're doing? That's the difference.
Yeah.
Small companies. Thomas knows what it's like working for
I worked for-
certain others that They really are, you know, just hanging out, playing video games, doing whatever.
You're out there still working.
Meanwhile, he's in a trench, you know, that's filling up with water fast and still digging by himself. That kind of thing. He knows. He jokes with me, but look who's here at this time of evening, still working, right alongside.
And that's the thing. Roy knows that it is me joking.
Oh yeah. Kinda. Sometimes. It's still hurtful.
Hey.
Why you gotta be so mean?
I only am good at the fat jokes because I too was a fat kid, Roy. Some might find that hard to believe.
We don't, Thomas. We don't.
Now I'm just fueled on caffeine, nicotine, and you find one of the other beans.
Speed. Fueled on speed. These little boxes are great. These like little fold-up ones. If you guys have smallish items that you sell, ornaments and things, and you don't do like padded flat, these are awesome. Also, these little envelopes, these are perfect for ornament size items. These are a 6x4. And it fits a thermal printer label perfectly. And then these are great for slightly larger items that you might be shipping. So this is a little 6x6x2, but they're like these pre-fold boxes. And once they're all folded up, they are really nice. They go together real nice.
And I believe you just got that off the A store, right?
Yep.
Can we say that? Maybe?
Yeah, off the Amazon.
Oh. Hey, I don't know what I can say or what I can't say.
Oh no, you can say it.
That's what I like when I was talking about our ornaments, my hooks. It's the crayon eaters, the water weenies, the seamen. The only one that matters. Because I don't want to get you demonetized.
Alright, grab something and move out.
Well, that's what I'm waiting on you, Dad.
Grab it and move out, boy. It's like wow, we went down to 5 people.
Just like that?
Are we still alive? I don't know. We were like, yeah, time to bounce out.
Well, let us know.
Poor little guys.
If you're one of those 5. Can you still hear us? Are we still good?
Yeah.
It is getting later. Maybe dinner time.
Yeah. Well, it's past 8 now, so.
Yeah.
Probably people. I've been going since 6. Yeah, I think I've been going since 6. Well, yeah, 2.5 hours now. All right, cool. I'm still alive. Like I said, yeah, I dropped down to like 5 people, so a lot of people are like, peace. We're out of here. FF Crick? Yeah, you got a hat just like this? I darkened it out because they have refused to sponsor me, and so far. And so therefore, no sponsor, no sponsor, no Minchie. Not going to mention ya.
Any questions, concerns? Since we're not really doing like a live stream.
Huh.
Any questions for the Thomas?
Yeah. Or any blacksmithing questions. We could take those too.
I mean, usually you guys all ask Roy questions and stuff like that. I'm in here. I'll answer to what I can. I'm an open book.
Yep. Ben Toom said, my best friend Joe is a foreman at the city, and he will jump in that hole, but 99% won't. Good on you, Roy, for not forgetting that. Yep. That's right.
I was going to say, it makes a big difference.
Well, there's a lot of people believe that I just sit inside and eat bonbons all day long, and Thomas, I'm just come out here to crack the occasional whip on Thomas. And it's like, that couldn't be further from the truth.
No, I I joke around with him, but that's exactly what it is. It's just joking.
That old adage, dirty hands equals clean money. So that's what we're doing.
I just messed that all up.
Come on, Thomas. Come on. Gosh darn it, boy. Gosh.
Oh, that's the other thing.
Hey, outside there's another crate.
Okay.
It's filled.
That's the other thing. If we were to do like a full-on live stream, well, first of all, you guys probably wouldn't be able to hear anything because it's so loud.
Yeah.
But the razzing we give each other all day, oh, you guys would probably think we hated each other.
It is significant. Well, considering I think most people aren't blue collar in this stream,
Yeah.
they get it. They get it. They get how it goes.
You gotta razz one another.
Look, too much. Right out of the way. Now we're back up to 11.
There
40
we go.
likes though. 40 likes. That works. 40 likes. Well, it isn't exactly like this was a scheduled live stream.
No, but
This one is for fun.
I think last year we did this too a couple times.
Yeah, a couple unscheduled ones. Yeah.
Just while we were.
Well, really, they've gotten to see the gamut tonight. They've got to see shipping. They've got to see some computer work. They've got to see some fabrication work, wire wheeling, and they've got to see some forging. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's see here. Are hog trotters better pickled or salted, in your opinion?
Our hog what?
Hog trotters, so hog feet.
Hog feet. Oh,
I don't eat pickled
I-
pig's feet, so
I've had them both. I've had them.
he tried to trip me up there, Thomas.
Yeah, it took me a second. Well, I had to hear what you said.
Yeah.
I've had them pickled, which ain't bad. But I've had them salted. Well, they were like, salted and smoked. And to me, that was a lot better than pickled. I'm a person, I eat weird things though. Roy, his palate is not as diverse as mine.
My palate's more refined.
Like chicken breast and bacon. That's it.
Ben Toombs, what's your favorite textures for those ornaments? A mixture. Like if it's a fur, for like an animal, it's a mixture of really fine, thin lines and deep lines. Peen marks for fur to mimic fur. If it's an animal ornament, if it is, I like breaking up patterns. So I might do like a very fine cross peen for the hair on the like the Mrs. Claus or like on the Santa ornament. And then I might do just a really light scalloped Hamburg texture for the face to just give it some more dimension. Or that might be on the hat, and then I'll just leave the face plain. That way, you mix up textures. So. Dragonstone and Jim Ironworks said, it's been a well-rounded show. Wait, hog trotters? Pig toes? Oh, heck no.
They're not bad. They're not bad. One thing I have not had this year, and I'm actually kind of sad about it, is pickled deer heart.
Again, you lost me.
My one buddy that usually makes it up, unfortunately his father isn't doing so hot, so he had to stay home. but he would always bring some up with him. And that's pretty good stuff there. Roy's not he's not an organ eater.
Nope.
It just never really tickled his fancy.
Nope. Stay away from it. I've had brain, I've had tongue, I've had gums, I've had all sorts of organ meat. And I can't say any of it I liked. None of it I've been like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get that from every animal I get. No.
I'll say there's certain things that's better from one.
If I was starving to death, I probably would eat it again, you know. Heart was okay, that was pretty decent. Brain wasn't bad. Tongue was kind of meh, I could take it or leave it. Liver, never loved liver.
See, for that one right there, I only like liver out of chicken or beef. Pig liver, not the greatest.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not an organ eater, so that's not my specialty. Will not find me chowing down on chitlins.
Chitlins ain't bad, it's just who makes them.
Yeah.
I think that's also the big thing right there too, is it's not so much what the food is, it's who makes it.
Yeah, I'm not really into it.
Don't lie, Roy, your favorite dinner is Rocky Mountain oysters.
Nope. Won't find me eating those either. So the trick so I personally, now this is a personal preference of mine, I don't like eating anything that processes. So anything that is a processing organ. That's where like heart or brain I'm kind of okay with. Tongue again okay with. But when you start getting into liver and stomach, like tripe and stuff, no. Kidneys, nope. They process stuff. You're not meant to eat those things. You can eat them if you want, but you won't find Roy do that. I just don't find that's there's any.
He just has to be real hungry.
Yeah, I don't find there any good reason of why you would want to eat those. Like I said, if I was starving and that was your only option, then yeah, I probably would cook it up or something. But anything that processes stuff and is meant to process out bad stuff and turn good things and give you nutrients, no. Not a great thing to eat, in my opinion. All right.
I got those over there.
We're now down to the last 3 to QC, eh?
Yep. And I got these
Process
over here.
out.
I can get this one out because I got them cut.
All right, cut and wire wheel.
Well, not wire wheel.
Okay. All right. Come over here to QC some orders. Gotta get my pen.
Do it, lady!
I think I can see that.
I don't know if that's trademark or not.
Probably is. Probably shouldn't do that.
I find that funny how you can get in trouble for saying certain things though.
10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Pro tip, if both your piles are made from the same thickness of material and they are at the same height, that means they have the same quantity of items. It's like a fast, quick action kind of thing. Make sure Tom's ain't slipping interesting little Mickeys in on me here. That's good.
Can they still hear you okay when I'm running wire wheel?
No, they can't. That's why I don't want to do any more wire wheeling this evening. Kind of loses the stream. Oh. That's why I said we could just process these and get that table cleared up. And we can call that good for the evening. And then we'll finish our live stream. Howdy, howdy, BS Forge. And Bar Run Forge is back. Hello, Bar Run.
T-Roy!
Good to see ya. Alright, then QC'd. Next. Quality control is an important part of any business. Even if it is an annoying part that you have to do. It is an important part. Four. That's good.
Roy, these are just pulled, but they are not.
They gotta be wire wheeled up.
Yes,
That's
I'm
fine.
just letting you know.
That's fine. Santa Oran. Got a mustache, at least one row for that.
Okay, there's copper in that order.
Good.
Copper in that order.
All these orders done. Elf ornaments. Got those. And this is Claus.
Yeah.
One of hers. And our freebies. Be a nutcracker and a gnome. Yep, and that. Good. QC it. To get my seal of approval. Answer some comments. Yeah, there's a furry varmint in my shop. Was there a mouse running around?
You leave Mr. Bojangles alone.
I'll leave Bojangles alone. We do leave Mr. Bojangles alone. All right.
He's the only one that keeps me company, okay? When they're not here. Okay.
Swing you around, I'll flip you around.
Reckon I got a cut
Yeah,
for that.
I'll cut this while I process this next order here. Got QC them.
Alright, that's a cut for. Might as well just stop on that.
The only problem with Thomas, he piles all the stuff right on top of the sheet. So I can't see the sheet until I move all the junk. Killing me, Smalls, killing me.
You gonna cry when I get you that new rope too?
I will. I will. All the way up until I drop. I'm gonna cry about it. Aye, aye. Lock this thing up. I will cry every moment of free fall until that sudden jerk at the end. Pal.
I'll make sure to get a bungee cord for you.
20.
With friends like that, who needs enemies?
With friends like you, who needs the enemies? Indeed. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Military stuff. 2 ornaments. Decent. Snowflake number 11s. Times 3. For snowflake number 12s. Times 2. Big mouth Billy Bass bottle openers. Got some Bass bottle openers. 2, 4, 6, 8.
That's
10.
some bad Bass stuff right there.
2.5-inch caliper rounds. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yep, 10 of those.
I'm so proud of him. Everybody give him a round of applause. He can count to 10.
I can count on all my toes. Hoo dog. Lighthouse 5.
Well, would you look at that, Martha?
Wild Deer 2.
Oh, come on now.
Don't run on. Be back with talking with you guys here in just a moment. You can scroll up to look at their comments. Just lightly touch and scroll back and forth.
Yep, we did just send you guys another 20 Copper Angels. I remember cutting that one.
Yep.
Because Eli is slaying it on those little reels. Eric Jason, yeah, I'd definitely be down to have a good feast with you. Going through back, yeah, the pickled deer heart. Another good one that I haven't had in a long time, pickled wise, is pickled herring. Or herring. Sorry, let me enunciate and get my hillbilly ways.
You keep talking to him for a moment until I get this QC. So I can count. Yay!
What's your guys' thoughts on pickled bologna, though? That is a big thing up here. I don't really see any of it down in the south of pickled bologna.
Oh, that's baloney.
Oh, that's bologna. Oh, bar run, if you put your order in, it will be cut Monday morning and hopefully processed.
Shipped by Tuesday.
Hopefully processed and shipped out by Tuesday. If you want to do that, Troy. You know us, some of the fastest shipping in the biz. Hence why we are out here late at night.
No, the fastest shipping in the biz. Period.
There's not too many people that can
Not that small.
keep up with what we're doing.
Are we going to turn that off?
Yeah.
Okay. And boom. All orders QC'd up to this point. There we go. Not bad, not bad.
Not as far along as I was my goal, but it was definitely a outreach. It was a little far-fetched goal.
Yeah. Well, it's not too bad. So Thomas is trying to get the deck completely cleared. We try to clear the deck. That's what we call it around here, is to have 0 orders sitting on the deck. You know, the wooden tables, right? We try to clear the deck. And for the most part, we've done that. But when orders are coming in, and, you know, it's kind of like you can only clear it to a point, you know, and then you just don't pull it until you're ready to, you know, do it again. So, but this will make a big dent on it. All the orders we processed tonight, been 15, 30, well, 30 orders. Probably just here, on our just on the CNC business side, there's what, probably 20?
No, right here already from what I had today, I was sitting on 25.
Yeah, so there's 25 orders plus, then there's been other ones that have come in. So, plus all of Jessica's stuff. So, like I said, it's quite a bit of shipping, lots to do and all that. You know,
2 more crates, which I took in 2 full crates earlier this morning.
Today. Yeah, of what had been processed previous to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, and then like today up in our area, a lot of places up here around us, a lot of businesses and stuff were closed, you know, for Thanksgiving weekend. So just us having Thomas come out and give me extra hand, you know, on a Friday will make our Monday a lot better, you know, be a lot better. We'll have a better chance of clearing the deck again next week. At some point, you know, we'll see. It's kind of, we want that, but we also don't, you know, like if we clear the deck and we're like, we have no orders for a couple weeks, well, that's not nice. We don't like that, clearly, but also, you know, it's not too bad to have it all,
let's just try to get the orders out as fast as we can.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's why we like that goal. But yeah, it's kind of, there's a lot to do, you know, So it's kind of hard to clear the deck, so to speak, when there is that many orders a rocking and a doing. So, and now I'll point you at Thomas. I'll print some more labels here. I'm gonna kill the bed here.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
That's all I'm doing in here. Oh,
yeah, let me flip here. Flirpity flirp. Is that good?
I'm back. Yeah.
Can they see you?
Yeah.
See what you're doing?
Me. I'm so sorry you guys have to look at all this. I cry every morning when I look in the mirror. So. Nope, now I'm just right here just trying to go through and at least organize my piles. So then it just makes pulling my items that much easier. All these stuff has been ran through our tumbler, which is just a concrete mixer. And it does a really nice job. There's some things that may have not fully got knocked off all the way. That's why you saw me do some wire wheeling. Because just sometimes it's just, you can leave them in there longer, but then you have a more chance of it possibly breaking or, you know, not withstanding to it. So they just get pulled and then stuff's doing a little bit of wire wheeling. But that tumbler is so nice, because before we got that, I used to have to sit there and wire wheel every single item. And needless to say, if we were still doing that method, I wouldn't be nearly as far along as I am now. Because I'd be just married to a wire wheeler for a month of Sundays. Let's see. Quail eggs, pig feet, and bologna. Nope. See, that's all some good stuff right there. That is good eating. Okay, they do have pickled bologna in Kentucky. What I like to do after the pickled bologna is down so far is I then boil up about a dozen eggs and throw in there. Which, for this year's Thanksgiving, I'm a little saddened on. We did not have deviled eggs. Which is probably a good thing, because I'm pretty sure with all, there's me and my friend, and we did a Friendsgiving. I'm pretty sure we had enough natural gas that we could have sent the rocket to the moon. And I don't think the deviled eggs would have helped any of us out. Me and my buddy, we kind of had a little bit of a contest going to see who could annoy the women folk first. Well, he won on the gas end. Oh, so now that Thanksgiving is over, I think I did talk about having the drunken. You guys do anything a little different for Christmas or Yule or your holiday feast? We typically do a ham. I might convince Shelby to do a goose this year. Although I got to track down we got wild geese all around, but I got a few of them in the freezer. But wild geese, they have a different flavor to them than domestic. Now I enjoy all that, but I don't know if she would so much care for it for the actual holiday dinner. I'm really the only weird one that eats pretty much anything. Shelby's a little bit more reserved. Although, did you know you could die if you ate an armadillo? By the way?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a useless piece of information I never needed to know.
Yeah, they have something in the meat that it will actually, you will die. I can't remember what it is in there, but
I will take your word on it, sir.
So anybody there in Texas, don't be looking at them armadillos and be like, that looks like a tasty treat. I don't know why the whole armadillo just popped in my brain, but it did.
Well, some would say it's because you're weird.
Or retarded. We're going to go with that one.
Or both. I'm hovering on both.
You're not far off. Oh. So, I was asking Roy, and I'll have to go in here and look real quick. Or, hey, Roy, when you do these, do they pull back up on the replay, or are they
comments?
Yeah. No.
No, you have to read them out. Whoever their name is,
Oh.
because they stopped doing that. YouTube did.
Yeah, I remember I used to be able to go back and
Watch it
rewatch
on the replay. Yeah.
and watch all the comments. So
Yeah,
I guess I'll have
they
to.
stopped doing that.
I'll have to look. So I was asking Roy some ideas because I want to make one more thing for the Great
Blacksmith Christmas
Great
giveaway live
Black Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream. on December 19th at 6. Extravaganza. I've already made 2 pairs of tongs. And, you know, I want to make one more thing. And I know I mentioned it earlier, so if I'm repeating myself to anybody that was watching earlier, I do apologize. But if you guys want to hop in and add to the giveaway, get a hold of Roy, get a hold of Jess. All the mailing information is probably linked in down below, or we're not that hard to find. Centered Ironworks.com. But I want to make one more thing. So what would you guys like to see me make? It has to be tool oriented for the great Blacksmith giveaway. And I'll give it a few minutes while I'm counting these up, and I'll go to the message board here. Because after all, it's going to be more likely one of you fine folk that will be receiving it. Do. All right. Well. Did anyone hear about the dwarf palm reader that broke out of prison? They call her small, medium, at large. That's a good one. That was a great dad joke. I'll give you a guess who sent that one.
Benton.
Nope.
No?
Who's another one that's great? You can always count on a good dad joke from.
Oh, I don't know.
Leroy.
Oh, Leroy.
He always has some good dad jokes. Finger split for Makime. What's wrong with my finger? It's there. That's as straight as it goes. Hey, I'm pointing at you. Not you. You. Not you. You. My oldest son, he got me good the other day. I was like, hey, Kenny, count to 4 on your fingers. And he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I did 2. And then he puts his hand up, right? And it looked like this, normal. And then in the mirror, he went like this. He just like kicked it down. I was like, are you picking on me, boy? He laughed. It was hilarious. He thought he was being cute, which he was. I can't wait for that little guy to get just a little bit older. Not that I'm trying to rush the youth out of him, because I don't want that. But just a little bit older so I can take him with me to the blacksmithing events. And, him be safe around, I mean, he goes out to my shop and he hangs out with me. But, it's at home. I don't have to worry about him running off or anything like that. And just like that, one of my piles is sorted and gone. That will make one person in this shop happy.
Yep, sure will.
So I'm just on camera for a second. Be right back over there with you, fine folk. And we're going to check the comments to see what Thomas is going to be making. Thomas can point around corners now. Okay, waiting to hear. We got 8 people in here, so there's only 8 opinions. We got Troy's that said make a finger split, but I don't need it anymore. No, give me some actual honest things. What would you guys like to see made? And I'm off camera right now, just putting away some of this stuff. I'll be right back in shot. There we go. I'm going to turn you guys just a little bit so you can see me just going back and forth. Now, with this right here, I'm not too awfully worried about putting stuff back in the bin that has drops on it. Because I've been wire wheeling everything that, comes out of these bins. Inspecting them. And it's just a way to get them off the table. No, I'm very thankful for all you guys that have placed orders. That's kept me gainfully employed here. I can't thank you guys enough, because without your guys' support here, Thomas wouldn't be having a job. Well, at least here anyways. I'm very grateful that I've been blessed with having a lot of awesome mentors in my life that's taught me a lot. And I don't really sit around. I'm way too busy. I'd probably go absolutely insane if I was forced to sit around. And Troy can vouch for that one. When I was down there at his place after my injury, I was out raking leaves. And he's like, just chill out. Calm down. I was like, but I can't. I gotta go. We're up to 10 people now. What then? BS or BTO? You need a mini bear hug? Okay, waiting to hear from you guys.
They don't want to tell you.
Maybe you don't want anything. Like, if it's coming from Thomas, I'd much rather.
I was about to say.
I'd much rather just have nothing.
It might not that they don't want anything. They just don't want it from you.
That could be it. Maybe that's what they're.
Sometimes you have to face the cold hard truth, Tom.
Maybe that's what they're saying. They're like, if it's made from you, I don't know. Ow, Troy. That hurt the feels. Right.
That hurt the feels?
That got right in the feels.
Hey, listen, I'm your friend. I gotta tell you the truth. Okay? I'll tell you the truth. At all times.
You just suck. Roy never really comes out and ever says, well, that sucks. He's like, well, it's not the greatest. You can spend some more time on that cleanup.
I just say, how do you feel about what you did there? Troy knows.
How do you feel
How
about
do
it?
you feel how you did on that scroll?
It's like, I'm honestly asking. I'm a big boy. I'll go cry in the shower later. But right now, I want your honest opinion.
How do you feel about what you accomplished today? Does it make you happy? Well, then that's all that matters.
It's like, well, what I want. Troy's over there. It's like, oh, I remember that day. That was the most beautiful thing I ever made. And yet he made me feel bad.
See, you commented.
So, Uncle Buck, it's going to be a tool. So it's for the Blacksmith giveaway. So it does have to be tool oriented.
Hey, Uncle Buck Forge here.
Yeah, he just
Hey,
popped in.
Uncle Buck.
So he was just asking if I was making a trivet or something artistic. But it's going to be a tool. And I got some time. So if it's something maybe I haven't made before, it's going to give me a little bit of time to venture out and do something. Troy did mention about making a pair of scrolling forks, bending forks.
There you go.
And I was like, well, I haven't made one of those yet. Kind of been meaning to make a pair for myself.
So make a couple.
So I might, I'll make one, keep my prototype, my lesson to myself. And then give the other out.
Gotta put some better freebies in this one. Gotta add some more freebies.
Uncle Buck says, hi, Roy. Yeah, Ben, when I had my injury, it definitely did put me in a little bit of a rut. And so I'm glad that you took the time to talk to me about that, because I couldn't get out in my shop. Well, I could, but I just couldn't. I didn't have access to my arm, because the whole time I had to pretty much pledge of allegiance. And it was a rough one for me, because I was forced to slow down. And that was definitely a rough time there, being forced to slow down. But we're all back. It's there. I got a hand grip, so may not look pretty. My career as a hand model has faltered from it. But it's how you take a situation like that, though, and have the mentality of, you got injured, right? But how you bounce back from that. Just because you may have something that might have happened to you, it's how you bounce back. That shows your not resentness. Is that the word I'm looking for?
What?
Resilience. I'm not too good with them $2 words.
They don't like seeing it with their hands.
But it shows your resilience as a individual. When you can take a licking and just keep on ticking. It also helps to be mildly wicked retarded. I can't do this. Come on. You struggling over there, Paul?
Yep. Math is hard and thick.
Okay. Alright. 2 plus 2 equals chair. Alright?
Chair plus 4 equals 7.
Yes.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries. And the great bubble gum rainbow of the sky.
Ooh. Uncle Buck, how about a small swedge block?
There you go. Challenge yourself with that. I won't be making it.
Small swedge block. That, I'm trying to think if even if I have material to do one. Because you need a block that's 2 inches thick, don't you? To make a good swedge block, like 2 inch thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.5. Get away with it 1.5 chunk. By 6 by 6.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have any.
That's manageable.
That is a challenge right there. A good challenge. I mean, I got the fly press. I could probably do it quite a bit. I would have to look into see. I may have a chunk of metal around that significant, but all right. These I don't feel like climbing. Alrighty. Well, the deck is
Mostly clear.
clearish.
He's got it cleaned up quite a bit.
Not for you to weld.
Yep.
There. This is that same guy.
Step in. How y'all like this yellow tape? Some mistakes were made in my purchasing decisions. Oh, some mistakes were made. Show you all a cool little thing I made a while ago. What are you doing?
And what you just do so Roy don't see your piles, you just put the
Oh, no.
empty tin.
I see them. So I made this turntable up for a long while ago because I thought, oh, this would be really handy for welding. You know, I could use it as a welding turntable. Well, having to manually try to turn something as you weld on it, yeah, you don't get the most consistent results. But since I made this turntable up, we use it predominantly in the shop for adding our webbing tape on stuff that's super heavy. So this package is fairly heavy. It's about 20 pounds. And so we use this fiber webbing tape that's got like fiberglass strands in it. And so we cover our sides so this way we don't get any bust outs. But now I can use it like that on my turntable. And I can drop down one row and go right on around into the middle, and we're good. And now that will never bust out of there on the sides anyhow. So I can just do that, run my hands down them. Then I can turn it up on edge like so, and then I can go around the middles, make like a gigantic plus mark. And I'm going to tell you, this is so much easier to do it this way than flipping your package end over end. Just by putting it on a rotating table like that, a little lazy Susan action.
You are a lazy Susan, Roy.
Yeah. You know it. Round and round we go, just like so.
I wonder why they called it a lazy Susan. Was the woman that made it, her name Susan?
Probably a chick who was round like a turntable.
Or
And her name was Susan.
or was it her husband, her husband was tired of
Susan being lazy?
Susan being lazy. So
Sky's the limit, buddy. Sky's the limit. And voila! Just like that. Sealed, good to go. See a little bit of area where that didn't quite tape up, so lay that over the top. There we go. Now I can put the label on.
just don't pan. Or you
Yep.
got those
You want
ones
to-
made up over?
Yep, those are
Okay.
already ready. Gonna do those up. Turn my back to you. That way you don't see the customer. Full privacy concerns, but the label's on there. Just like that. Shabam. Or as they say in the business, Shazam. Just done. Possum sausage. So we are packaging all of our orders. And by the way, hello. Good to have you.
Howdy, buddy.
So we are packaging a bunch of blank orders this evening. Thomas and I are working at it nice and diligently like. And trying to get a head start on Monday next week. So since it's kind of a holiday weekend, we've been working hard at that, haven't we, Thomas?
We have been. And I do know that fine young man, strapping young lad, will be sending us something.
Oh, right on.
Or at least that's what he said.
Well, that's what he says until it's in the mail and it's here. We don't count our hens until they're hatched, Thomas.
There might be a snake egg in there.
Thank you. Thank you, Possum Sausage. And Uncle Box Ford said, I had 2 sales today in my Etsy store. No sales the whole month of October. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Ray Dahl, hello. He said, hi, Roy, Thomas, and the all-important Jess. Jess isn't here this evening. She's actually inside where she's smart and it's warm. Just me and Thomas out here, the lone wolf in it.
Just getting her done for you folks.
So did you post a lot in October there, Uncle Buck, or did you just not have enough stuff on the website, or what's the deal there? I wonder. Of course, your stuff's popular. It should have done better than that, I think.
Is there a website for him, by the way?
You got your website back up, right? Or you just do it your Etsy? Do it through Etsy and Facebook now? Is that how you're doing it, Uncle Buck? Let us know in the comment section.
Because there was a few things I saw a quad that I wanted to get. I was just being more frugal on my pennies.
Nothing changed, just Etsy. Huh. Well, sometimes, I'll say this about Etsy, sometimes they don't make you aware, or they will give you a notification, and if you click out of it, get out of there. Sometimes they'll give you a notification, let you know, like, oh, you need to update your, they just use stupid stuff, like, oh, you need to have 2-factor authentication for your account. And you're like, okay, well, that's for me logging in, and stuff like that. And then it'll limit your search visibility until you update your 2-factor authentication. Etsy will do stuff like that, which is like, okay, come on. You know, that's nonsense items. So maybe you missed a notification from them to do something stupid. You know, oh, click this button or enable this thing, and maybe that limited search visibility. I know we deal with that from time to time, where it's like, oh, we haven't had an order for a little while off Etsy, and then it'd be like, oh, well, there's why. You know, it'd be some stupid little blurb. So we have had that before. Yeah, that's right. Boys' night. What happens in the shop stays in the shop until you make a sale and ship it out anyway. Exactly. Well, all right. Well, we've been going almost 3.5 hours here. So I think we're going to close it down. We're going to get everything wrapped up for this evening and get on to our weekend.
If anybody wants to look at the table,
yeah,
workable status.
flip it around. Well, there's Thomas working on his in there. That's kind of a workable status. We'll have to see. I think I can have enough room there to do my welding and whatnot.
Well, this is for an order. That's for the same order.
Yep.
This is what he has to weld up.
Yep. It's pretty well clean. And all that stuff over there is just a bunch of test pieces from new items we're offering on the store.
Here, I'll show them off one last time before.
Yeah, let's show off all those. Also, Jessica just posted about these on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. So if you guys are on the channel or whatever, you can see the actual finished results of those. So this one here, this is our elf ornament. So it's a layered kit. So you get the brow piece that makes the brim of the hat, and you get that little drop down areas where you put a nose in.
And that's where the rivet would go.
Yep. And then, so that's our new elf ornament this year. This will get, you get 2 rivets for your eyes made out of coal to go for it. And then it's got the carrot nose there, so that's a layered ornament as well. So for like a frosty type of situation or just a snowman or whatever. And again, you can see that on the website. Thomas doesn't like my ornament at all.
I want to see what you guys come up with.
Yep. So that's new to the website. Go ahead and show off the other one, the Mrs. Claus. Yeah, and we also got a Mrs. Claus to match our Santa Claus this year. So she's got some cool shades, a little holly leaf off the side of her glasses, and then you attach it with a single rivet for a nose. Yep.
And a lot of these too, you can flip it one way or the other, so you don't have to do the same thing over and over. You can give her a different look. Yep,
give her a little different look there. Then we also added some layered designs for a deer, which makes it really nice. I like to do that for the red-nosed reindeer. And that one actually gets shipped out with a copper rivet and a mild steel rivet for the nose. So that's the deer layered ornament kit that we have over at the website.
You can make a Randolph or a blazer.
And then you can show off the other there. So we also have elk. We have an elk layered ornament kit, just like that.
And the other cool thing too is if you wanted to do
a cow
and a bull, you can,
they work either way. Yep.
You can use those too. So.
And then go ahead and show the next one. And then we have a moose as well.
As big as a Cadillac.
We also have some other layered designs that'll be coming soon, but we probably won't get to them until after the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway Live. So in between now and the first of the year. Yep, nice big moose. So a little rocky action.
Are the trivets live?
I believe the trivets are live, but I'm not sure. No, actually the trivets aren't live yet, but these are upcoming. Go ahead and show them. So we will have these new trivet designs available. So we've got one in moose.
No,
this is great for sportsmen, hunting cabins, things like that. So we are going to be offering them with a ring. So you'll have the ring like we do in our normal trivet kits, and you'll have 3 rivets that, and the holes will already be blown. We forgot on these when we were just test cutting these, but you'll actually have 3 holes blown at exact 120-degree angles from each other on these. So you can show the next one off, Thomas. So that one's the moose one. We'll have a wild deer one. Yep. Keep going again. We'll have an elk. And we'll also have a bear, a walking bear one. So those will be pretty neat. Those will be new trivet designs that we'll have coming here soon. So let's see here. Someone asked about the Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream. I believe that was Ray Dahl. The Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream will be the 19th. That'll be the 19th of December. And so if you want to come join us, that is a Friday night. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. So be sure to take and join us for that. I believe Thomas is going to be there and hanging out, and we have a lot of things to give away. I don't know what type of projects we'll forge, if we'll do any forging, we'll do much forging. One of us will be doing some forging, and I'll probably most likely just be running my mouth because it's what I'm good at. So.
Bacon.
Which great blacksmith are you giving away? Only the greatest. So, oh, but yeah. So we have. So that'll be coming up the 19th. Be sure to check that out. So that'll be December 19th at 6 p.m. till whenever. We haven't set like an end date, like an end time on it. It'll just be whenever we've given away that last thing, the last thing we have. So, but.
Yes, and so that's what I was telling Possum Sausage. You know, we brought that up, and I'm grateful that you're going to be sending something in.
Yep. And hopefully we will have enough donated gifts. If there isn't enough donated gifts, that's okay. My plan is I'll have a couple of guillotine tools fully assembled, already made. All you have to do is cut your die and do whatever you want with them. But they'll all be welded up. I'll have a couple of those to give away. I will have a full treadle hammer kit I plan on giving away. That's with a air assist, heavy hammer upgrade, everything like that. I will have some regular kits, like weld together yourself kits of our C frames and our A frames and our double bays and our single bay guillotines. Those are all going to be up for grabs. I have a bunch of hand hammers that I bought from Mark Ling at Quad State. In fact, I did some horse trading on a press for part of that action there. Boy, this thing's going blurry on us here.
Yeah.
There you go. So I have a bunch of stuff like that to give away. I also have some stuff in from Troy and Eli at Bar Run Forge. They get sent some goo and some of their blacksmith goo and their some blanks that they want to give away. I have some from Uncle Buck's Forge. I have some kits and things there that I'm going to give away. What else am I missing? I have some Zax wax that I'll be giving away in the live stream as well, and some shop shepherd oil. I'll be giving some of that away.
Two Thomas tongs.
Two pairs of Thomas tongs that I'll be giving away. Keith Bear is going to be giving something away.
Still waiting to hear what I should make next.
Yeah. Well, they've already told you enough good ideas. Figure it out. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff that we're going to be giving away. It ought to be a good time. Hopefully we can get some great tools into other blacksmiths' hands, and you all will have a lot of fun like we do as well. So, and I might buy a few other things. We'll see. We'll see what the budget allows, and if I can buy in some more, some other blacksmithing tools to give away as well. But yeah, so it ought to be a good time. So that's it for tonight. God bless each and every last one of you. Thank you for hanging out with Thomas and I and our little impromptu live stream here. And we won't see you again, most likely, until
unless it's another Friday night.
Yeah, but we probably won't see you until December 19th at the Great Blacksmith Christmas Giveaway live stream. So take care, everyone. God bless y'all, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Trying to look good.